What's going on, everybody, and good morning and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be another how-to kind of video, but today is actually not going to be fishing. Today is going to be how to strip and re-fletch your arrows, more specifically for hunting. Typically target arrows won't have wraps, but today's video is going to be about how to strip your wraps and fletchings off of your arrows and how to refletch them. I know there's a lot of that kind of stuff out there, but just kind of wanted to show you guys my process and how I do it, and some of the things that I like to do when I'm fletching arrows. So stay tuned. I really hope you like it, and let me know what you think. Here we go. Alright guys, so for the first part of this video here, we're just going to kind of jump right into it. And the first thing you want to do when you're stripping your arrows is make sure you take your nock out. You don't want to do any damage to that. And then with a razor blade or an arrow stripping device, you just want to gently start from the bottom and push your way up through cutting the wrap and the vein off. Sometimes the veins can be a little sticky with the glue and stuff, but just kind of make sure, just push through it nice and easy. And then you just want to continue that process through each vein. And once you have your veins off, the biggest thing you want to make sure you're doing is just not applying a lot of pressure when you're going up through the wrap, but just gently carve a little piece at a time off. It can be a little bit tedious and boring, but just part of the process. And the biggest thing you want to make sure you're doing is not digging down into the carbon. Definitely want to make sure you're not digging down in the carbon and damaging your arrows. Otherwise, your arrow would be rendered useless. So this is pretty much just a rinse and repeat process. So once you kind of get the hang of it, you just kind of keep working through all your arrows, and once you're done, it's time to re-fletch. All right, so once you've got your wrap off, honestly, the best way I found to kind of get the rest of that residue glue off of there is just to kind of use your hands and rub it off a little bit to get most of that off. The big chunks come off pretty easy with your hands. Then you want to take some kind of cleaning wrap, like these AAE Max Clean wraps. They're really awesome. And go up through and really clean that shaft of the arrow. Make sure there's no residue glue on there. That will definitely impair you from using another wrap. It will not stick very well. Then you want to make sure you inspect your arrow for any cracks or scratches or anything, and then just put your nock back in and you're ready to go. So for the next part of the process, once you've got all your arrows stripped and prepped, you will want to take your new set of wraps. For today, I have these awesome whitetail fit wraps that I ordered recently in the American flag pattern. They're super awesome. They come in a 12-pack. So you'll want to take your arrow and lay it on something kind of soft. Typically a mouse pad or a magazine will work just fine. You will gently peel your wrap off, making sure to not get any oil or fingerprints on the wrap as much as possible. Place it down on the pad or magazine. Then you want to take your arrow shaft and line it up with the wrap, and then gently push and roll. Make sure everything looks good. Then you just take your wipe and clean off all the residual dirt and debris on your wrap that you might have gotten when you rolled it on the arrow, and set it aside, and you're ready to go for the next one. Alright guys, so for the final part of this video, we're going to be actually putting the fletchings on the arrows now. So today I'm going to be using these Whitetail Fit AAE hybrid vanes. These are actually a really awesome vane. They're a hybrid of the AAE Max Stealth and the EP26. So it's got the EP26 base and the Max Stealth vane part. And the awesome part about that is the 2.6 base allows you to apply them to the arrow with no primer. So they're super easy to fletch and they stick to pretty much anything. Plus these Whitetail Fit green ones look super awesome. So the first thing you want to do obviously is take your vanes out and then take a vane and place it in the clamp. I have a mark on my clamp where I like to place all my vanes, just so it's an easy reference, and I always am putting it in the same spot every time. For the first arrow, I put it on there and check and make sure that is kind of where I want to start on the wrap. You don't want to put it on any kind of crease or the seam in your wrap. Some people don't care, but I'm just super picky about that kind of stuff, and I like it to be perfect. So I'll check and make sure and do a little twisting if I have to. All right, so once you've kind of got everything where you want it, you will then take your glue. I've just got some Pine Ridge glue. I bought it Bass Pro. The boning glue works awesome. The AAE glue is really good too, but you just want to take your glue, and from the bottom you will take and with a small bead go up the vein. Less is more with this stuff, but you definitely want to make sure that you do not leave any air gaps. Air bubbles is what can cause the veins to kind of come off, so just kind of do a little dabbing and make sure everything's covered in glue, and then gently place your clamp back on the jig, push it down, and I like to just kind of assist it and hold it down a little bit. Typically about 5 or 6 seconds or so is plenty good enough. And then once you're done with that, open the jig up, take it off, and just rotate your arrow. Just put another vein in and rinse and repeat. So once you get done with your last vein, one thing I like to do is take the arrow out and take a Q-tip and kind of run it between the veins and get all the excess glue off of there. Just makes it look cleaner, and you don't have any big clumps of glue, dry glue, when you're done with your arrow. Just looks better and more professional. And then the final step in the arrow building process that I like to do is called tipping and tailing. I use a Fletch tight glue. It's a slow cure glue. You can use a super glue, but I just prefer this stuff. It kind of sucks down into the vein a little bit more and typically gives a better hold, but you just put a little dab at the end of each vein on the tip and the tail of it. And this really actually helps for longevity, keeping the veins on longer, and helps it be a little bit quieter because there's no little pieces of vein to grab air when it's flying through the air. And there you have it, a finished, wrapped, and fletched arrow. And there we have it, a fresh dozen arrows with some super sick whitetail fit veins and wraps. All right, guys, well, that's going to be it for today's video. Apologize about the noise. Just started raining here this morning, but I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you guys got something out of it. I know fletching arrows can be kind of boring and tedious, but it is part of the process. So let me know what you think. If you like this video, like and subscribe. More content coming soon, so stay tuned for that, and we will see you guys on the next one.